Well, it's been a while since we've talked, but there've been a lot of developments in my land dispute with the city of Waco. Um, it's not really a dispute; it's my land, not theirs. But since the last time I've talked with you, I have been sued over about 50 yards of land. Um, and let me describe a little bit to you about what's happened. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a disabled veteran. My name is Casey Hubble. I'm a resident of Waco, Texas, and the city of Waco and its city manager Bradley Ford, are trying to take my land. No compensation, nothing, just simply take it and render it unusable to me. And they actually got a judge. Now, one of the most interesting things about this, and I think one of the most damning things, is that the school district, Midway ISD, wants this redevelopment to occur because of their plans for expansion in the future. They're one of the most interested parties in seeing this area developed. So, because they're going to lack permeable land up the way from me, I guess they feel like they need to turn my yard into a giant concrete culvert. So given that the school district is one of the interested parties in this, it's very interesting to me that this case was filed in a juvenile court. And the juvenile court is only supposed to handle overflow cases. What it appears is that the city of Waco and its city manager, Brad Ford, engaged in what's called forum shopping. Now, for those of you who haven't heard about that, that's where a governmental entity will shop around for a judge that they know will decide in their favor, that is almost 100% assured to decide in their favor. Well, this judge that presided over my case is a former law partner of the school board president, Midway ISD school board president, and got himself appointed to the head of a juvenile justice court, and that's where the city filed its action against me. So this reminds me a lot of, if any of you have heard of this Wicked Witch case about a woman who bought a piece of land that had a pond on it or a river that ran through it, and the city had gotten used, its residents had gotten used to swimming in that river, but it's her property. And she's going through a living nightmare and a hell over it.
Now, many people thought that land was part of a park.
Jefferson County sued Romero in an effort to seize the disputed land.
When you get people in positions of power who are corrupt, they abuse that in order to take.
What I'd like for you to take from this video won't be very long, it's just an update, but some of you might remember that both the governor of the state of Texas and the attorney general of the state of Texas, I didn't even hear from the lieutenant governor of the state of Texas. These people, it just makes my skin crawl that all three of them are on Fox News all the time, parroting themselves as true conservatives. The Attorney General's office told me that they had nothing to do with land disputes. And I found this. I knew this existed, but you might be interested to see this. This is the Texas Landowners Bill of Rights. And guess whose seal is at the bottom? The Attorney General of the state of Texas wrote this, prepared this Landowners Bill of Rights. So when the Attorney General of the state of Texas says that they have nothing to do with land disputes, They're lying. So what I get from the lack of response and the lack of intervention by the Attorney General of the state of Texas is, number one, they don't care about veterans like they say they do, especially disabled veterans. And number two, they're more interested in maintaining relationships with cliques that ensure their power base, like Waco, Texas, the ruling clique here. The judge in this case was appointed by Governor Abbott. It's just amazing. All the, what I would call, for lack of a better word, because I don't want to be censored by YouTube, but it's bovine scathology. And let me tell you something else. I mean, if someone like me, a disabled veteran who's lived on this land and protected it, I've had to protect it for 17 years, can get my land taken away, just taken from me, stolen from me like this. All of you can. And it has to be stopped. I was told one time in confidence by one of the assistant city managers who kind of differed from the opinions of the other city managers that I shouldn't be worried because private property is pretty sacred in Texas. It's not. It's not sacred at all. Local government will take it at the drop of a hat and they'll bankrupt you over it. If all the power belongs to them, unless our leadership in Austin holds them accountable. The Texas Veterans Land Board, there's a Texas Legal Assistance Program, a Veterans Legal Assistance Program. They won't help. They won't do anything. Texas Veterans Land Board, we can't do anything. It's none of our business. None of these governmental entities will do anything to help me. I have to do it all on my own. I have to fight all on my own. So what I've done is I've taken it to the federal government as a civil rights violation. And I think I'm going to have some success there because what they've done is deny me due process. There's no question about that. And they've violated this. They violated the law. They're going to render my land, whether it's an easement or not, they're going to render my land unusable by me. So what they're trying to do is get around a condemnation, which has all kinds of rights for the homeowner, and it's a lot harder for them to do. It takes a lot longer for them to do. These people think, here in Waco, Mr. Ford thinks that they can just take my land and that I'm going to be powerless to do anything about it. And if I complain, they're going to arrest me or sue me, bankrupt me. That's what I'm facing. It's amazing. There is no sacred factor when it comes to Texas, private property in Texas. That is a lie. That is a misconception that people have in Texas. Your land is their land. They'll take it at the drop of a hat. You have no rights whatsoever because they can just simply classify it as something else. That it's for the public. It's a public emergency. Well, I've been here 17 years and I have yet to see a public emergency. And they've got drainage infrastructure here that they don't maintain or even try to. And they're dropping the floodwaters that come through, the runoff floodwaters that come through here have never once touched the borders of my property. And when it comes through here, you can smell the fecal matter and the cow manure. They don't care how that's affecting the health of the people here. Now, I've made a point of going to the EPA over that, and because of that, the city manager's, I guess, going to do some sham inspection of the land upstream here from me in McGregor, Texas. Although he has no authority there, he's telling me that he'll review it. So I think the bottom line is, if it were me, if you don't have a compelling reason to move to Waco, Texas, like a job or your career necessitates it or something like that, don't move here. I'm approaching 61 years old. I've lived in a lot of places, being in the Army and going to college in Wichita and Baylor, Waco, here in Waco. I was stationed in Italy, and I was treated far better as an American soldier by the Italians than the people of Waco have treated me and my family and the surrounding area. And all I've done is try and stand up for people. They don't care. If you buck the system here, your life will be a living hell. And the life of your children will be a living hell. If you bring young children into this community and they don't start at kindergarten, they're going to go through, most likely, what I can say is my kids went through a nightmare here, and it was an unending nightmare. And what I'm going to do in future segments of this show is I'm going to tell you about each one. One by one, we're going to go through, starting with Waco ISD. I'm going to tell you about the nightmare that my family has been through. And one of the reasons why there's so much hate involved in the seizure of my property. There's a lot more to it than just 50 yards of land. There's a lot more to it. It's also showing someone who dares to speak up and be vocal in Waco what awaits you. They'll take everything from you. This is the smallest big town I've ever lived in my life. And I have endured things that, and my family have endured things that will make your skin crawl, and we're going to talk about it. If the city of Waco is going to declare open war on me, and I don't use that term lightly, that's what they're doing over the land to the side of my house. Nobody's safe here. And am I saying I fear for my life? Yes, I do. I fear for my life. I fear for my safety. I've already been jailed here twice, unlawfully, and nothing happened to anybody. Law enforcement here didn't charge anyone with a crime for putting me in jail unlawfully. The judge, the police chief, the local law enforcement community, they were all fine with it. So this is not a place I would recommend that you live unless you have to move here. And I'll detail all the things that have happened in my family from here on in on this show. Thank you for listening to me. If you have any questions, make sure and leave them in the comment section. And I'll also put my email on my YouTube site, a way to get in touch with me if you need to, if there's something you want to tell me. Or I've gotten some questions, and that's one of the reasons why I followed up here. I wake up every morning terrified there's going to be bulldozers in my side yard. The other day I woke up to electric company people out there surveying my land to move telephone poles. To move telephone poles. So the city can destroy my side yard. And well, if you've been following me, you know. So anyway, thank you for listening, and I'll be back this time, I promise, within the week with another story of Waco corruption. Thank you.